Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining us today. Welcome to the final event of this ILO Green Week. And what an inspiring week it has been, packed with webinars exploring all themes related to a green future of work. Today's session has been highly anticipated. Participants has been asking for tips on how to green their own business and work throughout the week. But more about that in a minute. So my name is Mette, and I am a part of the Green Jobs program at the ILO. And I will be giving a few housekeeping rules before inviting our moderator of today, my amazing colleague Carolina Ferreira, to take the floor. So first of all, speakers are invited to have their cameras on, and we also invite participants to engage in this session today through the Q&A function. That makes it easier for us to stay on track with the questions and pass them on to the speakers. We will also be running a few polls throughout the session. If you missed any of the events this week, fear not, they will be on the ILO Green Week website from next week. Yes, so without further ado, I am pleased to invite Carolina to take us through the session today, and please enjoy. Over to you, Carolina.
Thanks, Mette. Thank you so much for this great introduction. So as Matt said, we are very excited to welcome you all on this last day of the ILO Green Week. I hope you had a chance to follow the previous webinars and discussions that we had. But today we have with us four amazing entrepreneurs that will tell us all about their experience with green entrepreneurship. And well, as we all know, that there has been an increasing interest in green entrepreneurship, and more we see individuals, especially young people, who are highly motivated to create business that provide innovative solutions to the climate crisis we are facing today. So we really hope that you will benefit the most out of these discussions, and that you can get inspired, because this is our main objective today. Our main objective is to inspire you to come up with ideas and find ways to implement them. So we will be hearing about four different business cases that are covering also different sectors. So we have representatives from energy, agriculture, manufacturing, and arts. And also they have different country contexts. So we have participants from Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Uruguay. So I think that this will be a very rich discussion to give us very different perspectives on green entrepreneurship. Also, it is our hope that this conversation today will inspire you to come up with new ideas, but not only new ideas, but will also inspire current entrepreneurs with existing business to also embark on new opportunities in new green markets. Before giving the floor to my colleagues and our amazing entrepreneurs, allow me to break the ice and set the stage. So we would like to learn first who you are, and also hear about what you think about the green entrepreneurship. So the first question you will see here, we are running a poll. Please select one of the options that best applies to you. So what do you expect from today's call? Do you want to get inspired for your green business? You have already a business idea, but you want to know how to implement it. You already own a business, but you want to green it, or you want to know how you can support green entrepreneurs, or you just want to learn more about green products and services. So let's wait a few minutes or a few seconds more so that you can all participate and we can understand a bit better who you are. Okay, so I see that most of the answers that we receive is that you want to learn more about green products and services. This is great because I believe that the participants today, the entrepreneurs today, they will be able to respond to that. I'm also very happy to see that there are many people interested in supporting green business. So let's hear how we can do that. And I would be very much interested in hearing from participants their perspectives on this end. So thanks, Mette. Let's launch now the second pool. That, well, this one is a multiple choice, so you can select as many answers as you wish. So why, in your opinion, do business go green? So do they want to contribute to a greener and safer planet? So really more based on the values of the owners and the values of the entrepreneurs. As I was saying in the beginning, there are so many young and, well, not only young people, but so many entrepreneurs who are really interested in committing to contribute to greening the planet, to position the brand as a leader in the market, to attract and retain top talent. As we know, more and more workers are interested in being part of a team, in a part of a company that can actually make a change in the world, provide a healthier and safer work environment. When you think about companies in which, there are some, they deal with toxic products, so once they go green, these issues, they can be also addressed. Also to reduce costs and improve operational efficiency. We know that very often when we go green, we think better about how we're gonna explore resources, how we're gonna use them. The other option would be secure tax benefits and incentives. So more and more governments are making available these types of mechanisms for companies to tap into and green their businesses. Explore new and emerging markets. Now, as we know, we have this whole new market share of people who are more conscious about the environment, and they are looking very specific products that also take into account and share these values with them. And this is related to the second point, that exploring new emerging markets. So there is an opportunity and we go to tap into that. And also to have greater competitive advantage. So we can, that's quite of a long one. So perhaps we can end, but I see now it's quite interesting to see that the responses. We see that many people do believe that companies want to contribute to a greener and safer planet. So there is no choice, as we saw yesterday at the Earth Day, all the campaigns that were going around, there is no planet B. We need to do something and act now. So I feel that many of our participants today, they share this view and they believe that business are going green for this reason. With 55%, we have also the cost reduction, which is very true. Once we go green, you have opportunities to reduce costs when you start using resources more effectively and improve the operational efficiency of plants, for instance. So this is, of course, a very important point that makes a very good business case for green companies, and also to explore new and emerging markets. And as we were saying before, that's indeed a very good and positive factor that helps business go green. So that's very useful to set the stage and also understand a little bit better what we're going to be discussing today, and also give a perspective to our entrepreneurs of what the audience is expecting from this conversation. So I will stop with the poll, and I think this was useful, and I will turn now to our speakers for a first round of presentations and questions. So I will first ask the entrepreneurs to present their business ideas, and then afterwards I will ask some follow-up questions. So it's my pleasure now to invite Luke Macarici of Green Tech Energy, which is an energy company that produces renewable energy out of organic waste. And he's based in Zimbabwe. So please, Luke, tell us a little bit more about your business. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Greetings, everybody who is listening to us now. My name is Makarish Luke. I'm founder and director of Green Tech Energy, which is a company, a waste-to-energy company operating in Zimbabwe. Next slide. Let's have the next slide. The registered name of the company is Green Zim Ventures Private Limited. It was registered in 2012, but we only started in 2018 in pursuing renewable energy projects, with precisely biogas projects under the banner Green Tech Energy. Next slide, please. Next slide. Can I have the next slide? Okay, we specialize mostly in the construction, installation, operation, and maintenance of a variety of biogas systems for domestic and commercial applications. Our systems are able to generate raw biogas for direct heating and cooking. We're also able to upgrade the biogas and in some cases make use of the biogas in gas engines so that we can produce electricity that can be channeled into the national power grid. We, as a company, we have participated in the curriculum development process that has been rolled out by the ILO with funding support of the government of Sweden through their Swedish embassy to Zimbabwe. We have participated in the green skills development process. I have been working with the ILO as a master trainer for technical and entrepreneurial training to TVET institutions. This is allowing our TVET institutions to be able to produce graduates with green skills that will be able to supply into the job market. You may also want to know that I am a beneficiary of the Green Enterprise Innovation and Development Project that has been rolled out by the ILO. They rolled out a competition in which we participated among several other companies, and we awarded the first prize as the best company in the renewable energy category. We walked away from that process with a financial prize to the tune of $5,000 US, as well as 12 months business development services. The support that we have got from the ILO country office for Zimbabwe and Namibia has allowed us to be part of a number of very useful networks, business networks that are helping us in a number of areas, inclusive of PFAN and SACRI, among others. As a company, we've also been selected as one of the 50 SMEs with potential for high growth under a program that is being run by the Zimbabwe National Gazelles Institution. You may also want to know that as a company, we are rolling out a pay-as-you-use biogas construction scheme, which is the first of its kind in Zimbabwe, which is allowing our customers to own a biogas plant before they can actually pay for its construction. Through this scheme, we envisage the installation of at least 200 biogas plants, new biogas plants, over the next 3 years. And this is creating a lot of opportunity for work-based learning and also job creation for men and women, including our youths. Next slide. Next slide. Can I have the next slide? Okay, in terms of our products, we have the smallest biogas plant in the range of the biogas plants that we are providing, which is the food waste bioenergy kit. It's a 1 cubic meter biogas plant, which is small enough to be used by urban households, allowing them to make use of the food waste that they generate on a daily basis and to generate enough biogas to support cooking for up to 3 hours. Okay, that plant is also, in our view, helping the country to manage waste, because if we have about 40%, 45% of the waste that is generated at household level being utilized within the home, it means what is left for our municipalities to collect and dispose has been reduced. So we are also helping our country to also cut in terms of emissions. Apart from that, the next in line in terms of our products is a range of biogas plants whose sizes ranges from 4 cubic meters to 20 cubic meters. We call them the small scale biogas plants. We are installing these plants in off-grid areas, and we are benefiting mostly farmers and other institutions that are located in off-grid areas. They are cutting on costs as a result of making use of our product, and it's also helping the country in terms of reducing the use of virgin biomass, specifically the cutting down of trees is reduced by means of making use of our small-scale biogas systems. Apart from that, you may also want to know that as a company, we are the first company in Zimbabwe to launch a biogas to power plant, which we are working on. This is a 5-year green project for which Greentech Energy is very much proud about. The 5-year green project with a closed contract, and we envisage that the operationalization of this project is going to create up to 100 green jobs on a long-term contract basis, and it's also going to assist the country in terms of meeting its objectives and goals as far as the Paris Agreement is concerned. Precisely as a result of the implementation of this project, we envisage that the country will be able to avoid about 480 metric tons of CO2 equivalent emissions avoided on an annual basis. Can I have the next slide? Okay, apart from the innovative biogas plants that we are rolling out into the market, we are also bringing out innovative payment solutions. We realized that one of the challenges that affects, or one of the barriers to the uptake of the biogas technology in the country, is the initial construction cost that is attached to the biogas plants. So we have come up with a new pay-as-you-use scheme, which we have called PAGOPS. Through this scheme, as I indicated earlier on, our customers will own a plant before they pay for its construction, and we envisage a lot of movement, a lot of work. We envisage a lot of uptake because we are receiving a lot of interest from our customers. We are grateful to the support that we are getting from the ILO through the funds from the Swedish government. We are grateful to the Green Enterprise Innovation and Development Project in Zimbabwe, for which we are part, and we are benefiting immensely from that project as a company. For additional information as far as our company is concerned, I invite our audience to visit our website, www.greenzim.co.zw, for further information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Luke. This was an amazing presentation, and I think indeed give us a lot of food for thought. I think I was particularly impressed by how you managed to work on different scales to promote renewable energy and really tackle two problems at once. So first, on the one hand, we have the problem of organic waste that many times is a waste that can be used for the production of biogas and much more, and ends up in landfills that not only pollute the soil, but also brings many health issues to communities. So I think that this is one very important aspect that your business tackles. And at the same time, of course, not to mention the whole problem of climate change, that going towards renewable energy helps to address in a very effective manner. I think that it was also fascinating how you're scaling up your business. So my question to you would be first, I'm pretty sure that many of people in the audience, they would be interested in learning how you get a business ideas idea off the drawing board? How can we implement it? So how was the process of bringing your business to life? So this would be the first question. And the second, what would be the key factors that facilitated this process? So you mentioned that you counted with the support of the ILO and also other development partners in Zimbabwe to address and to really implement your business case. But could you please elaborate a little bit more on what do you think that was key to facilitate this process? Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much for those questions. I would say that the process of bringing the business to life was, on one hand, it was exciting, but on the other hand, it was extremely challenging. As a startup, obviously, our first entry into the industry was to try and raise capital through innovation competitions and innovation challenges. We failed in a number of them, but we kept on trying. We remained hopeful. And then came the Green Enterprise Innovation Challenge, in which we participated. I mentioned about that earlier on. That was the game changer for us, because out of the financial reward that we got through that innovation challenge, we managed to procure a number of tools and equipment that is helping us to construct the small-scale biogas systems. So from that process onwards, we started to see a lot of opportunities. The program introduced us to the expert coach who coached us and gave us suggestions on how to improve our company and to really build a very robust business model. And coming to your second question, I would like to think that the most important factor for us that helped us in our inception stages was the access to the business development services, the support that we got in our inception stages. I would say that without that support, I doubt we would have been able to grow to where we are today. The grant that was provided to us was very key, and the follow-up support that we got from the program, from the coach that was assigned to us was very instrumental in making sure that we put in place all the necessary mechanisms to see our business grow. Apart from that, I would also think that my team, the team that I put in place was also key. I will be honest, I have been working with a highly motivated and highly committed team, which was eager to see our idea to come to life. And with that, it meant that every obstacle that we were meeting was tackled with a lot of determination. And I would think those are some of the factors that helped us to really set up our business, bring it to life to where it is today.
Thank you so much, Luke. That's very inspiring indeed. I'm pretty sure that people from the audience might have questions to you too. So please, I invite all participants to please send us questions through the Q&A, and then we will address them soon. So thanks, Luke. Now I would like to turn to the next entrepreneur. I have the pleasure to invite Elizabeth Nyamunda of Tamba Washables. So this is a company that produces cloth diapers and relatable products to speak to us now. And Elizabeth is also from Zimbabwe. Please, Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Moderator Carolina. All protocols observed. Tamba Washables is a green enterprise that is into the production of cloth diapers, reusable sanitary pads, and other cloth-related products. My business is one of the 78 green businesses in Zimbabwe that have undergone enterprise development through the Green Enterprise Innovation and Development, which is being run by the ILO with funding from the Swedish government. As a business, we are contributing to the saving of the environment by slowing down the growth of landfills. From the time a baby is born up until they reach 2 years of age, one would have thrown away up to 4,800 single-use disposable diapers. And a single disposable use diaper will take up to 400 years to decompose. So we are actually saying to families, let us make laundry and not landfills. We are also helping families to serve on their household income through making use of reusable products as they grow their families. The cost of single-use disposable diapers is very high, especially in my country, Zimbabwe. So therefore, when families are able to save on their household income, they're able to spend those savings on food, thereby increasing the nutrition for their children and the family as a whole. We are also playing our part as a company, as a green business in ending period poverty by supplying and producing reusable sanitary pads for use for young girls and women in Zimbabwe. During the recent pandemic, as a business, we noted that mothers, they go through a lot of anxiety and depression when their diaper needs for their babies are not met. And this thereby affect the mental health of mothers. So in the near future, we endeavor to work through partnerships in the maternal mental health sector, providing our cloth diaper packs. I thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's very fascinating. And I believe that it's great that you brought to us a few figures that make it very evident the benefits of using reusable and washable cloth diapers. I was reading your bio before this webinar, and I feel that I think it would be very interesting if you could share with us your motivations. Why did you come up with this idea, and what motivated you to actually implement this your idea of business? So this would be the first question, because I think that it would be very worthwhile to share with participants. And the second one is, we know the challenges of entering traditional markets, and we know that it's not always very easy. And how did you go about it? How did you make sure that you have a competitive product, a competitive green product to sell and be successful?
Thank you. As a first-time mom, I would have used disposable diapers, but I faced serious challenges with disposing this, because in the city that I live in, disposal services, like that's your garbage collection, it's not the service that is being offered by the city fathers is not reliable. So once in a while, we'll always just have lots of garbage with single-use disposable diapers constituting the greater part of the garbage. And this situation that I first then is something that families are still going through to this day. So when I had my second child, I then decided to say, well, let's just change things a bit. And that's when I then started making my own cloth diapers, and also just doing trials until I got what works. So after that, we as a family, we enjoyed savings, you know, our household income. We enjoyed saving and just having some disposable income to spend on other things. We also experienced less garbage at our household level, and we went on to actually be proud of ourselves for that. We're actually putting a smile on the earth, the very same earth that our newborn baby was supposed to live in. So it is this experience that my business, Tamba Washables, is all about selling. What I experienced, so with each product that we make, it's just me saying, just wanted to get lots of mothers and families on board to experience what we experienced. About the challenges, of course, there are challenges and hard ones, challenges that would, as a young woman in business, as an entrepreneur, that would actually make you want to run, like. But because the one thing is, the baby industry is very competitive. Some brands are so big and they're already established. So when you just want to enter such a terrain, it was really challenging. But what I realized was my competition wasn't mostly to say, I'm out to compete with this. I realized that what I had to compete with was a mindset, that people had to have their mindset to shift, so that like households and families, mothers, fathers, to actually realize their day-to-day activities, their day-to-day choices, and the impact they have on the environment. So for them to then actually decide to say, okay, I'm going to make this decision to use a reusable cloth diaper so that I can at least save the environment. So that for me would have been that realization that it's not really these big brands that I'm really after, but it's that mindset. So that has seen our business just try more on raising awareness. And there was lots of groundwork to be done before the sales actually started tripping into the business. And yeah, so just trying to get people to be aware of the 100 years it takes for disposable diapers to decompose, and not be oblivious to this, to always be aware when you make that choice, know the choice that you're fully making. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Wow, Elizabeth, that was extremely inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing from this more personal background and personal perspective why you engaged in this. And I think it becomes very evident also the gender dimension. Now you spoke about your challenges as a mom and also as a woman trying to strive on business and on this area. So this is extremely interesting, and also making a reference to the current times, no, of facing this pandemic and how we can help women strive through crisis. So I think that this intervention was extremely helpful to make us think about it as well. Thank you so much. So let me now turn to the next speaker. Please welcome Richie Raphael. He is from Tanzania, and he's the owner of the Africa Harvest, and his business produces organic growing medium out of coconut husks, which is normally considered waste. I'm not going to go any further on that. I will now give the floor to Richie so that he can present his business to us. Please, over to you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Yeah, so my name is Richie Raphael, and I'm 27 years old. I'm the co-founder of Africa Harvest Enterprises, Tanzania Limited. I'm coming from Tanzania. So Africa Harvest is an agribusiness startup venture that produces cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is 100% organic growing medium that is eco-friendly, that is produced from coconut husks. The coconut husk is the outer shell of the coconut. So what we do is simply we have an industrial process that extracts cocoa peat from the coconut husks. Now I'll start by sharing a little bit of a personal story that actually got me to this idea or to this project. Yeah, so several years ago, I took my mother to a place called Arusha. So Arusha, it's located at the northeast of Tanzania. And my mother has a great admiration for flowers. So we went to see one of the biggest florists there. She actually produces more than 100,000 100,000 containers of, she has more than 100,000 containers of flowers, pots for potting mix. So when we strike up a conversation and we talk about the great admiration and had for her business, you can't imagine, but out of all the problems that she told me was she actually faces a hard time getting good soil, getting good and quality soil for her pots. So as I was a new person, as I was a new entrepreneur, I couldn't actually figure it out by then. But the problem is very obvious by now. So I got really interested and I started doing a lot of research. And I kept asking myself, how could this be a problem? Soil is everywhere, and yet a florist is telling me that she's facing a hard time getting good quality soil for her pots. So I came and I started doing a lot of research. So I came across some horrific facts you can't imagine. According to FAO, and this was from the Global Symposium of Soil, 33% of the Earth's soil are already degraded, and that number can go up to 90% by the year 2050. It takes up to 1,000 years to just produce 2 to 3 centimeters of soil, and the soil erosion can actually contribute to 50% of the yield loss. So I started thinking about the solution that I can actually provide in order to combat this problem. So an epiphany hit me that there is an urgent need to provide an alternative solution, an alternative growing medium that can actually be used in order to reduce excessive use of natural soil, as well as the alternative that is not quite good, which is peat moss. Yeah. So that's where we come in. So we started producing, we started producing a product that is called cocoa peat, and cocoa peat is 100% organic growing medium that is eco-friendly. It is proven that it is improving the agricultural productivity by 30% as compared to natural soil. Yeah, so that was cocoa peat has not only proven to be the best, the good alternative as compared to peat moss or natural soil, but it has proven to be the best choice for the environment and in terms of sustainability. Yes, so we have a facility, we have an industrial facility that is located at Kiroka Village in Morogoro town. Yeah, Kiroka Village is around 9 kilometers from the city center. Yeah, we produce, we have a monthly production of 30 tons, and we commenced November last year, 2020. Up to date, we have made a revenues of close to 5,000 USD. Yeah, so if we speak about in terms of impacts, first we provide employment to 4 permanent employees and up to 20 part-time employees during, depending on the operations. And yeah, so if we talk particularly in terms of United Nations SDGs, we can say that the project is focused on reducing poverty as well as providing decent work and economic growth by providing a source of income and employment opportunities to underprivileged communities such as Kiroka villages. We feel that just because most of our employees don't have traditional schooling, it does not necessarily mean that they don't have access that they can work in an unsuitable working conditions. Yeah. We believe that good working conditions goes hand in hand with productivity. Yes. The second impact in terms of United Nations SDGs is zero hunger by enhancing agricultural productivity. Yes. So we understand agriculture requires a huge chunk of the world's resources. Imagine 800 million people are undernourished, go to bed hungry each night. That means we not only have to think of the problem of producing more food, but we also have to think of the problem of how can we produce this much food, but effectively. With using with the limited resources, we need to be very effective. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richie. Again, another inspiring story that we can hear from you as well. So I think that it's very remarkable how your business is using new techniques in the horticulture sector that also contributes to enhance production and also increase the profitability of the business. I think that this proves a very important point that once it's well done and well implemented, green business can also be highly profitable. And you also touched upon another point that is crucial, and me now speaking as an ILO official, is that you are not only, having your business, but you're also giving jobs, creating jobs that are not any type of jobs, but they are also decent. So it's very important that workers also have adequate work conditions in line with ILO recommendations and conventions. So this is extremely inspiring to hear. So my question to you, it's again related to your background, because reading your profile, what caught my attention is that you have a bachelor degree in computer science, and yet your passion for agriculture, and also you have just told us the story about how the issues that your mother was having in her business also inspire you to innovate. So what made you take this less conventional pathway towards agriculture? And also based on this, I would like to hear from you if you need to reskill, if you needed to explore new capacities and new abilities, and how did you do that? And my second question is related to technology and innovation. So what is the role of technology and innovation in your business at the moment for productivity and also resilience? Thanks, over to you.
Thank you for your questions, Caroline. Yeah, so I'll start by answering the first question, which says, what made you less conventional? What made you take a less conventional pathway towards agriculture? Yeah, so personally, I believe that the economic prosperity of this continent begins with a vibrant agriculture sector. I do believe that agriculture, Africa as well as Tanzania's economy deeply lies with the agriculture sector. But we cannot speak about economic prosperity without thinking about vibrant agriculture sector. I'll take an example from my country. Agriculture employs more than 70% of the population. Agriculture contributes to more than 40% of the GDP, the country's GDP. Yeah, so it's not that I don't, as you have said, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I have a first-hand experience in software engineering. I do believe in technology, but the biggest problem that I encountered is that most of the interventions and solutions that innovators, entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, innovators produce, they do not actually reflect on the problems that are happening on the ground. Okay, so they're simply a replication of the Silicon Valley solutions. What I wanted to do was simply, I wanted to get into the ground and see the problem for myself, provide the solutions for myself, first-hand problems. So when we speak about technology, I'll give you an example. M-Pesa is a wonderful business that is doing in Kenya, a wonderful business in Tanzania. M-Pesa is a technology business, money transaction. But M-Pesa has failed in South Africa because there's a reason to that. South Africa, because of the infrastructure and stuff. But this is a lesson. It's a lesson that it's not supposed to be a replication of things. You're supposed to create the solutions from that actually reflects on the problems that are happening on the ground. Yes, so that's for the first question. The second question regarding the role of technology and innovation in my business. Yeah, technology plays an important role, a very, very huge role. Yeah, in terms of processing, in terms of production, technology plays an important role. But for example, currently we're thinking of acquiring a new machine that would actually reduce, so there's a certain industrial process that actually involves chopping off these coconut husks. We're actually thinking of procuring a machine that will actually reduce that job and actually improve efficiency and speed as well as quality of our product. So yeah, technology goes hand in hand with efficiency, goes hand in hand with speed, goes hand in hand with quality of our product if you want to be competitive in this competitive age. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much, Richie. I hear it, I took note of one very important point that you just highlighted, that there is no one size fits all, right? When we think about solutions to climate change and also solutions to our daily problems, we really need to explore possibilities and solutions that fit our context. So I think that this is very excellent, excuse me, that you brought up this point. Now I would like to turn to the fourth entrepreneur that we have with us today. Her name is Julieta Reimonat, and she's from Uruguay. She's also the founder of Theo Von Deer, that produces handmade and environmentally friendly notebooks. So welcome, Julieta, and over to you.
Hello, thank you for inviting me and having me here. So my business is called Theo Von Deer, which means part of you in German. I like the idea that when you write something, doodle something in a notebook, you're putting a part of yourself in there, and it is also becoming a part of you. I consider that in a world where notebooks are consumed so massively, it is possible to provide a sustainable alternative to the commercial ones that are currently on the market. At Theo Von Deer, I use 100% recycled paper with no bleaching, instead of financing deforestation and the use of toxic chemicals that could and would harm the environment. For the covers, I use craft paper, which is more resistant than other types of paper. And again, it doesn't have any bleaching. Then the steam that I use, I'm going to show you the notebooks later on. The steam that I use is made of cotton thread. I did not have packaging until recently because the idea of producing something that would then be turned into waste made no sense to me. But as I've been saving all the leftovers from the sheets of paper and the craft paper since the beginning, I now have enough material to create my own zero waste packaging for the notebooks. The covers of the notebooks can be 100% personalized by the client. They choose the design that they want. I make it, I draw it, and then I hand paint it with watercolors in the covers. I have to show you here some covers that I did for a collection that I recently started that's called Sea and Sunsets. This is apart from the personalized ones. So here's one format and here's another one. I also believe in supporting other entrepreneurs and artists. I like working together to boost our businesses. So I did a collaboration with another entrepreneur from Uruguay. She makes handmade recycled paper. So I ordered from her some of them. Here's one. You can choose the color that you want, and she makes it out of recycled materials. I also did a collaboration with an artist from the same city that I live in because I loved her artworks. She paints with acrylics and digital art too. So she intervened in my notebooks, and we are going to sell them both in her Instagram account and my Instagram account so we can help each other gain new possible clients. Apart from that, another thing that I think is worth sharing is that I'm selling notebooks to collaborate with non-profit organizations here in Uruguay. I'm currently working with two. One is Socobioma, which rescues, rehabilitates, and then return animals to their natural habitats. They rescue wild native animals from Uruguay. And the other one is Rescat, and they rescue cats from the streets. They take them to the vet, and then they find them a new home. Here are one or two mini notebooks that I made for Rescat that I still have. And a profit, apart from the sales, goes to them. I am moving to Valencia, Spain in less than 20 days, and I am planning to do research on nonprofit organizations there to collaborate with them too. I would also like to incorporate more products to my business, like bookmarks from leftover craft paper that I have from the covers to use everything that I've got and generate no waste. I would also like to make weekly planners that I use a lot, but of course, eco-friendly weekly planners that can be composted afterwards, and plantable plantable pencils, and all stationery things made sustainable for the people that, like me, are paper lovers and cannot quite turn into digital entirely, but do not want to hurt the environment in the process. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Julieta. And thanks also for showing us your art and your products. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. I think that one aspect that is very interesting about your business is that you just open it or you start running your business only quite recently. And I think it's remarkable that you took the courage of doing so during the pandemic, right? So my question to you is exactly about how was this process of giving life to your business during the pandemic? And as we see ourselves still amid this crisis, do you see any benefit in running a business with multiple green aspects, as you just mentioned, in comparison to a more conventional business? Or, you know, in other words, you are having now you offer products that are environmentally friendly notebooks, and how do you position it vis-a-vis normal notebooks? And now in face of the crisis, since you're selling a lot online, how do you see it? How do you see this difference between the more conventional way of doing business and your green business during the pandemic?
Okay, thank you for your questions. I did start during the pandemic, and actually I wasn't planning to start during the pandemic. I wasn't planning to start at all. It all happened organically. I was studying German, my notebook. I finished my notebook, and as I was locked in, I wanted to do something fun, so I decided to make my own notebook to keep studying. My mom loved it, my sister loved it. They asked me to make notebooks for them. So I decided, okay, why not post it on my Instagram stories? Maybe more people like it and they want a notebook. And people just started commissioning me. I was super surprised by how many of them were commissioning me these notebooks. So I decided to make an Instagram account for the notebooks, and I came up with the name Tier von Dir, that's German, as I was studying German at the moment. And thanks also to the SEM and the Program for Sustainable Entrepreneurships, I learned a lot about entrepreneurship and how to grow. And I never imagined that me making myself a notebook would turn into me having a small business. And it's awesome because I believe it saved me from being bored at home with nothing to do during the pandemic. I was supposed to move to Spain last year, but I couldn't, so I was stuck here. So I was doing something that I love, which is painting, while also spreading awareness on how to take care of the environment with notebooks, that a lot of people use notebooks. And regarding your second question, I believe it is great to start a business during the pandemic, a green business, because at the start of the pandemic, I think we all saw these videos and images of how the earth was doing without us being on the streets polluting it, all the videos of the wild animals running free, of the waters getting clearer. So a lot of people, sorry, a lot of people became aware of all the harm that we were doing to the environment and started looking for more green solutions to whatever they wanted to buy. So actually having a green business at this time was really good. And I'm seeing a lot of green business here in Uruguay that are starting to grow and becoming really popular. Everybody is looking for that. So I really encourage people, if you want to start a green business, do it, because the more we are, the greater the noise and the greater the impact we can make.
Great, thank you so much, Julieta. That's you just ended on a very high note, your intervention, and I think that indeed it's it takes a lot of courage, but also a lot of entrepreneurship to be able to go out there and implement your own ideas during this period. So thank you so much for sharing this with us. So now I will turn to the questions from the audience. Please, if you have more questions, please send them in through the Q&A. You will see below the screen of Zoom, there is a Q&A, and then please type in your questions there and share with us. I would like to ask a first question to our entrepreneurs here today. Many of you mentioned that you received the support from the ILO to start your business and to get capacitated to be able to, you know, get the skills that are necessary to bring your ideas to life. So the question that we would have is that apart from this support that you received from the ILO, did you also receive support or encouragement from local and regional government for your businesses? So let's start with you, Elizabeth.
Okay, thank you. So at the moment, my business, we haven't yet received regional support as yet, but there are opportunities that do exist that if we tap into, we'll be able to also receive support.
Thanks. Richie, would you like to share your views on this question? Did you receive any type of support from your local government?
I wouldn't say that. Okay, the support that I actually consider at the moment is simply providing a conducive environment for me to do business safely in my country. I think with the regulations and stuff, but there is no such a recognizable support that I got from the local government because currently we have a local exporter that actually wants 100 tons monthly. She exports to China, but I think with regards to support from the government, it only comes from the point of restrictions and the issues of certifications and stuff, but not any other thing that can actually be recognizable.
Thank you. Luke, are you still with us? Would you like to share your views on this point?
Yes, definitely. I'm still within the meeting. I did receive some kind of support from the local government. The support was not financial, but I did receive a letter of support for our 5-year project, for which we are still working a lot to fundraise. So that letter of support was to us very important because all the investors that we are trying to also engage in terms of getting the project financed, we are also attaching that support letter from the local government. So in our view, even though we have not received financial support, but that letter alone represents a very huge step in terms of the local authority recognizing the work that we're trying to do within the country and where we are and the kind of objectives that we would want to realize.
Great. Thank you so much, Luke. Julieta?
I haven't received any support from the government, but I haven't looked for it either. So I wouldn't say they don't want to or they don't support green entrepreneurships. I just haven't contacted them for anything yet. So maybe they do help.
Great. No, thank you so much for sharing your perspectives on this. And also related to this conversation that we have that is very informal of, you know, you're also sharing your personal lives with us to explain why you came up with your businesses. So since we have only 1 minute to the end of our webinar, I would like to ask from you a very brief and very short question. What is the one advice you would give someone considering launching their green business? So in a few seconds, could you please tell us what would be your advice? Julieta, starting with you.
Okay, so my advice would be to just go for it. It may seem scary at times to start something new, but if you are convinced of your values of helping the environment, it will be a great impact. And you aren't aware of how many people you can inspire along the way. So just go for it and help the environment, because every change started with just one person.
Thank you so much. Richie, over to you.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, the one advice that I would like to advise to green entrepreneurs is simply get a balance between saving the world and sustainability, as in terms of what? I've noticed this is a pattern. Most of the green entrepreneurs, they simply are seeking uh, getting sympathy because they're trying to save the world. That means you have to buy my products. No. As for me, most of the farmers, they are buying my products because of the value that I give them. They don't buy my products because they simply want to eliminate soil erosion. No, that's just a fact. So because of the 30% increase in production, agriculture productivity, they are buying my products. So we can't deny the fact that in order to be successful in a green business, you have to balance between sustainability, that means profitability, as well as saving the world. Yeah.
Great. That's a very important point. The business is to be business case, right? It needs to really be profitable. Luke, over to you.
Thank you very much. As for me, I live in the part of the world where if you ask many young people about their business ideas, the first thing that they mention to you is unavailability of capital, the startup capital. So the one advice that I would want to give to many would-be entrepreneurs is that if you have an idea for a green business, perfect it. Don't throw it away. Just stick to the idea and work on it. Don't worry about the finances. If your idea is good enough, there will be someone out there to really finance it someday. So you should just hold on to it and just keep on looking and knocking on doors. One of these days, you definitely come upon an organization or an individual that is willing to finance your startup. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Elizabeth, over to you. What would be your advice?
Okay, thank you. So my advice would be drawn from the remarks which were shared yesterday during the launch of the Climate Action for Jobs initiative in Africa by the Assistant Director General and Regional Director for Africa, Madame Cynthia. So she mentioned that Africa is going to offer solutions to the world for the future. So to entrepreneurs who want to go into green business, my advice is just know that the future is Africa and the future is green. So you have to show up, please. And I would also concur with Richie to say we have to make our business profitable so that we grow our economies, we create decent jobs, and especially in my country, we reduce the widening informal sector. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And thank you everyone for sharing this piece of advice with us all. I think this was extremely inspiring. With this, I would like to conclude this webinar. We learned a lot today from entrepreneurship with very concrete and successful cases from around the world and also in different sectors. So I think that there is a very strong message that we can have green businesses in different sectors. We can have green business of different scales. We can have green business in different parts of the world. Support, there are many challenges and support is not always there as we discussed, but more and more there are tools available. And also one point that is important to consider is that as we were discussing yesterday during the Earth Day, is that going green is no longer a choice. And we must act now to put the planet on the right track for a sustainable future with decent jobs for all. So I would like to finish here on this high note and also thank panelists and thank also all the attendees who have been with us during this ILO Green Week. It has been an exceptional week for all of us. We are extremely happy for your support and for your participation. And we really look forward to organizing another Green Week next year and have you with us again. So thank you so much again, everyone, for your support and participation.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Hope to see you again in other programs.
Yeah, sure.
Looking forward to see you too. Bye-bye.